case you're not. So that obnoxious screaming was me and my friends on the night that they burnt AI on the bonfire. So we got all the artistic techies around my house, and everyone was like, right, we're going to flip this on its head. We're going to chant for AI and make it take over the world. So we had a very strong opinion on this at the time. So I was really glad to be asked to come tonight and speak about it. So I'm Ornagh. I'm a conceptual artist, and I use XR tools to create immersive worlds with surreal beauty and bold truths that inspire freedom. And for those of you who don't know, XR is an umbrella term for virtual reality, which is entirely in the headset, augmented reality, which you can enhance with overlays onto the real world, and then mixed reality, which is a mix of both. And I specialize in virtual reality environments and mixed reality video, which is the last one. So I have a background in immersive art and creating immersive exhibition. And I was doing this in the real world for a long time, making various experiences with installations, exhibitions, where I put on video, video performance, set design, all to kind of make experiences that started before the exhibitions and then led on to into the exhibitions and kind of brought people into different worlds. So I was doing this up until COVID, and it was actually one of our biggest shows that ended up being cancelled a week out. And I was kind of in lockdown, like, what do I do now? Because I had no kit and I had no shows to put on. So this is when I kind of discovered, thank you. I discovered XR, and I started, first of all, building environments in the headset. I was so excited about the fact that you could still create immersive experiences, but it could all fit in your bag and be in a headset and a laptop, which I could just kind of move around really easily. So here's one of the first ones that I made, and this is painted entirely in Gravity Sketch. And basically that's a tool that allows you to paint in VR. So rather than painting flat on the canvas, you're painting in 3D. And it was a really fun experience to do. You can't really capture all of it from the video, but everything that in there was painted. So it was 138 flowers, all hand painted, and it took a really, really long time. So when I got to the end of this experience, I was like, right, we need to go a bit faster than what we had before. So I think this moves it by the thing. Yeah, thank you. So I started looking into AI then to speed up the process. And like with any immersive experience, whether it's like a story or an experience or art, it all needs a narrative, and that's where I begin. So I start in GPT, and I write the story and come up with the concepts and the characters. I'm going to give you a little example of the way I make the characters. So once I've got who the character is or what the story is, I'll move on to go to Midjourney and get images like Christos's, where I'll have it laid out, do my storyboards, and kind of develop what I think that character will look like. And once I've done it in image, I can then take it to Meshy, which is a 3D software, which takes it from a flat image to a 3D model. So immediately in one moment, rather than in the old times I'd have to individually paint every element of that character, I'm able to instantly create a model that's jumps up straight away. So that was one of the most satisfying moments for me when I realized it was oh my God, you could make it that quickly. So immediately I was going from having to paint for almost months to create various characters to having numerous characters immediately. So it's instant gratification, which is fantastic. And then finally, I would take those characters and go to a software called Radical. And essentially what this does is allows me to take my real life body movements and put them onto those 3D characters. So by another AI, it puts the skeleton in, which again, you would have had to have a rigging software, matched up all of the bones on the internal skeleton, instantaneously rigs the model. And then my own movement is then put onto the characters. I have a little example here. So say I want to come up with this crazy blue elf guy, and then I'm able to put him in the software, instantly made into this model from the image that I've already created, and then the movement goes on as well. So it's bam, bam, bam. I mean, in theory, it's that quick. Obviously, there's a lot of development that goes in these stages, but it moves this quickly compared to before, which is, a lot more time. So, oh yeah, this is the hard one. because we had 5 minutes, I had to jam in all the slides together. But essentially, this gives you an idea of the type of worlds that I'm creating now versus the one that you saw originally that was hand painted. And all of these were made like within the space of months as well. So there's various different experiences. Everything that you see within this scene, within any of these scenes, that isn't me, of course, has been AI. So there's myself in a number of that. Apart from that, every single object has been used by AI. So it's just really speeded up my process as an artist, really allows me to make quicker. I mean, it's still a slow process in tech, whatever you do, but as you can see, there's a lot of art variety. There's still a lot of like artistic freedom. I've still very much got my own style because it's coming from my original idea and then an image that I created. And I think it really still holds it in the work afterwards. So that is that. And then just to make it a little bit further as well in the process of what I'm working with now. So essentially that all still takes time, and because I put myself in my own scenes in mixed reality video, the type of things I still need to think about is how we get rid of that green screen background and how we composite the footage of myself and of the world together, which is quite a labouring process, which Lee, who works with me, can also attest for. But essentially now I'm also working with a university on a research project with them to use an AI to automate that process of removing the green screen as well, which would be another phase in which AI would help speed up the process. And then also this one, sorry, I'm just going to go on. And then this one as well, like the other thing that takes me a lot of time is like the looks and the fashion. So this one at the end is another AI that allows you to put on different looks. So rather than having to also buy costumes, there will be a phase where you'll be able to get all the looks and use AI for them as well and still be in the scene. So that is actually my friend, Kazimi, dancing around there, hidden in the AI look. And then the last one. And then the only other thing that you probably, in that process of putting yourself in mixed reality video, that you could do quicker would be this lady in the middle, which is that just forget everything. That is actually, you can't hear it. I wonder if you could just put it on. It's really embarrassing actually, because I've just... I
wandered lonely as a crowd.
So that's kind of
a dog in a field, and all at once there was a crowd, a host of golden daffodils.
A very perfect reciting of that poem there. My friend was like, say a poem. So immediately put it out, but that is me. So essentially, like if you wanted to scrap all the millions of other stages, you could get yourself with a costume and quite nice video for a video output as well. So I suppose what I'm trying to say with all this is that it speeds up the process, allows you to be more creative, and as these tools develop, we'll have more and more ways to make even more creative ideas come to life. So I strongly oppose the idea of burning the AI in the bonfire. Thank you. Yeah, no bother. Do you think that VR is having a rather cold reception? I don't know exactly what it means by cold reception, but I think what's hard about VR is that you have to have a headset to experience it. And that's, it's a barrier to entry in that way, which is why I started to move away from VR and move on to mixed reality video. Everything you see there is still made in VR and looks hundreds of times cooler than it does on a small video. But if people can't see it, what's the point? So I suppose we're not there yet. And then, cooler headsets that came out, like the Apple Vision Pro and stuff, we thought that would, make it really cool. But then there's been issues with like recalls on that. It was all a bit secretive the way it disappeared. So I think we're not there yet on VR. That's what's holding it back. I personally think that when we do get there, it's just so immersive and fun. And I suppose the other thing is that you need a bit more patience than you would than just watching a screen, because it's more explorative. So you kind of have to be a certain type of person who isn't wanting that instant gratification which goes with the TV screen. But yeah, maybe it's a cold reception. I don't know. I spend all my time doing it, so I love it. I'm not 100% sure about that. How can we see your VR work? It's kind of like, as I said, it's kind of hard right now to see the finished pieces. Oh, hello. To see the finished pieces. I am working on getting my VR work at some version of it on the browser, which essentially means you'll be able to go to my website and view a version of it if you have a headset. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. If you have a headset, you'll be able to go on and view it from a headset just by going onto an internet browser. And there'll be a version that's on the PC, which you can look at the same time if you don't have a headset. That's kind of my best solution right now. That being said, it will never be the completed version that it is in VR, because on the browser you've got to make things a lot lighter, and so it moves a lot quicker. So it will be some version of some kind of art, but it wouldn't be the same as a fixed experience. So you'll just have to follow me on Instagram, which I think is my next slide. Follow me on Instagram and look at my videos and see when my next exhibitions are coming up, and please come along and support. So thank you very much. Cheers.